Well, I'm from Colorado originally, and I grew up there. First came to Dayton by way of the Air Force. Did my training in Dayton, and liked it enough that I decided to come back once my military time was over. I really wanted to have a career that was meaningful, and the most meaning I could really expect to get was in meaningful interactions with people, especially helping them with sensitive needs. Well, I wouldn't have guessed I wanted to go into women's health in general until I actually did a rotation in it in my third year of medical school. And I discovered it had everything that I loved from my other rotations kind of all packaged into one specialty, to include meaningful long-term relationships, to include surgery, and just the uniqueness of a woman's life, to include childbirth, aging, and all that was really meaningful to me. And eventually, I found my way into pelvic floor disorders and doing reconstructive surgery, treating complicated issues that women will experience oftentimes after childbirth, kind of in the next phase of life. And that became increasingly satisfying for me because it allowed me to kind of use my skills that I developed in surgery, which is also an area that I love to work. It's again, it's nice to be able to fix problems we don't always get to as physicians. Sometimes we have to manage chronic illness and disease, and that's important. But I derive a lot of satisfaction from being able to see a problem and kind of develop a solution and work towards it, and eventually kind of walk across the finish line with a patient. My philosophy of care is that not every person that has an identical problem needs an identical solution, and often the key to figuring that out is really listening well. It's not always easy for women that struggle with pelvic floor disorders, from incontinence or prolapse or what have you, to always come forward. Historically, that's been something that women seem to have struggled with, being open with, transparent about. And I think there's lots of reasons for that. But regardless of what those reasons are, it's nice to see them get comfortable in an environment that's kind of inherently a little bit uncomfortable, and to get to experience, oh, this is kind of what figuring out this and treating this problem can be. It can be a good experience, even a good journey while we're in the middle of it, even before we reach the finish line, because I'm collaborating with this physician that's listening to me. We offer comprehensive testing to figure out these, complicated pelvic floor disorders. We facilitate trying to take care of patients in different locations around the city. So we're not handcuffed to one location. We see patients north of town in Englewood, in Huber Heights, on the east side towards Beaver Creek, and down south towards Centerville. So, and I've got a partner, another physician, and we've got 2 PAs, and to facilitate even more locations. And so as a team, we are able to facilitate patients coming from a variety of locations because, again, a huge hurdle is just kind of coming forward and talking about these issues. And so we try to make the geography of it and the commute of it less of a hassle. My partner, another physician, and our 2 PAs, which are advanced practice providers, all we do is urogynecology, pelvic floor disorders, complicated bladder issues. That's all we do, and it's something that we pride ourselves in, the expertise that we have in that area. For the patients that need repair, we try to facilitate minimally invasive approaches to our offerings so that patients can benefit from the lowest possible risk for their surgery, but also the easiest possible recovery. There aren't a whole lot of pelvic floor specialists or urogynecologists in the city of Dayton, and those that are, I couldn't comment exactly what all their offerings are, but I would guess that the combination of access, location, minimally invasive approach is unique. I think a patient is going to enjoy from the start an opportunity to see their physician a little bit closer to where they live. I think they're going to enjoy a approach where listening is prioritized and that their concerns are heard. I think they're going to enjoy a evaluation and treatment plan that's developed with them kind of sharing the driver's seat and getting to enjoy having a strong say in what's done and what's available. Being an encounter, knowing kind of the general gist of what a problem, what a patient is there for, but I don't know what the solution is yet, even though I know what the various solutions are. And that's a lot of fun to figure out with a patient. And ultimately, it's fun to see a patient listened to. It's kind of a novel idea that patients just love. That when a physician will take the time to listen, and because the solution is going to be identical for each person, it's nice to see that light bulb not only come across for a patient, like, oh, this is something that I have options on, and this is something that I can kind of pick a solution that suits me.